Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai.
Omkar, where did this Omkar come from? What does it mean? So, what do the scriptures say? The scriptures say that at one time there was nothing, there was just divine wholeness. We call that divine wholeness as Parmathma. And that Parmathma, that divine wholeness was unmanifest. It had not manifested into anything. Another name for that is Satyam. That is why we have a mantra, Om Satyam Param Dhimahi. Om Satyam, that supreme truth, Satyam, that supreme truth, I meditate upon it. In my life, I don't want to know anything else. I only want to know one thing. What is that supreme truth? And therefore, I meditate upon that supreme truth. Om Satyam Param Dhimahi. So that supreme truth or Parmathma, which was unmanifest, why in it an idea came to manifest itself, no one knows. That is wrong questioning. You cannot ask. But in it some vibration happened, something happened that it wanted to manifest itself. So that supreme truth, some vibrational difference happened in it and it wanted to express itself. So from that divine wholeness, the divine fragment was born. From Parmathma, Atma was born. Now here the Shastra, again the scriptures say, what is the difference between the divine wholeness and the divine fragment? What is the difference between Parmathma and Atma? So again it says that is wrong questioning, because here the Shastra puts a riddle. If you take the part out of the whole remains the whole. If you put the whole into the part is already the whole. There is no difference between the part and the whole. Still something happened and that divine wholeness became the divine fragment. The Parmatma became the Atma. But in this difference of vibrations, two things were produced. In this differentiation, two things were produced. One, what we call Chitti. Chitti is the plasticine of the universe. This universe is made from what substance? It is made out of Chitti. Another name for Chitti, which is not the proper name, but we can equate it, is Prana. Right? So what is the nature of the universe? The nature of the universe is Chitti. It is made, all forms are Chitti, all energies are Chitti. And another thing which came out from this divine wholeness becoming the divine fragment was a sound called Omkar. So this is the primal sound. How did that divine wholeness express itself? How did the unmanifest become the manifest? Through this sound, Omkar. So if we want to go back to our original source, to our celestial home, then this Omkar is the complete journey. It takes our energies back to the source from where they came, from where they were born, from their primal source. Now this Omkar is called as Paranad, Anahat Nad. That sound which is causeless, which has no beginning, because there is no difference between Atma and Parmatma, no difference between the divine fragment and the divine wholeness. Both are the same. So this sound is the uncreate sound. It is not a created sound. It is there and it is always there, because this process is always there. It is happening every moment. I don't know whether I'm coming across. I hope I am. I'm trying to explain the deepest mysteries, the cosmology, the very basis of the Indian Shastra. The 6 darshans, what they call in India. Now this Omkar, when it was produced, with it the Shastras formed a theory of sound. If you're interested today, we will go a little into the depth of the theory of sound before entering Omkar. If you're not interested, I'll go directly into Omkar. It depends on what you all are interested to hear. Because when we study physics, we study sound, right? But this sound which physics is talking about is nothing compared to what the Shastras were talking about thousands of years ago, with the scriptures were talking about. The Bible also starts this way. First there was the Word, and the Word was with God, and God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. So the Bible also says that there was sound first, and from sound light was produced. What does this mean? What does this mean? So that Omkar which was produced, it was the uncreate sound, but it started hammering one upon the other, Om, Om, one upon the other. And a universe of sound was produced, which was in the Shastra, in the scriptures, is known as Shabda Brahman, the universe of sound. But this was still unmanifest. It was not a created sound. It was an uncreated sound, an unmanifest sound. And it is lying there in that Shabda Brahman, which we cannot see, which is beyond us. When we study physics as the physical world, this Shabda Brahman we will equate with Akash Tattva. See, when we study physics and we study the ancient science of spirituality, it is the same. It is exactly the same. So there also you have the 5 elements and how those 5 elements manifested into this physical universe, this astral universe. Similarly, there's the science of sound. That sound, the Shabda Brahman, we equate with the Akash Tattva. But the energy had to go forward, the universe had to be created, so it couldn't remain in that unmanifest state. And from that Shabda Brahman, the Omkar, it manifested that Paranad became Pashyanti Nad. The vibrations lowered themselves. The sound which was unmanifest became manifest. Pashya means that which can be seen. That which can be seen. So the sound which only could be heard with some spiritual ear, which only could be heard with some spiritual ear, not with this ear, which was uncreate, it suddenly became create, and when it became create, it became Pashya, it became light. First there was the Word was with God, and God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. You see how this is happening. Now, this light, Pashya, what does it mean? When we study the atomic theory of matter, we say that an atom has an electron, it has many particles. Suppose we take one particle as the electron, and we say that one electron means hydrogen, 2 electrons mean helium, 12 electrons mean carbon, 16 electrons mean oxygen, right? Supposing we just say it this way. So what are we saying? That electron, it arranges itself into a certain pattern. This pattern is called oxygen. This pattern is called as helium, etc. Similarly, the Shastra is saying, the scripture is saying that unmanifest sound, it suddenly manifested itself as light. It became the first particle of the universe. The first particle of the universe. The first electron. Not the electron which science is talking about, but something else. Now that electron started taking different shapes according to different ideas of manifestation. This is very difficult to understand, but I'll try to make you understand it. So it's taking of different shapes. That sound which was para, Omkar, it became pashya, that which can be seen, it became madhyama, middle. Madhyama is the science of matrukas, the science of the mothers, the science of measurements. Before all the tantric temples started in India, if some of you have been to Khajuraho or Konark, there was the temple of 64 yoginis. Supposing we say that I speak English, so I say the English language is composed of an alphabet of 26 letters, right? Or I say I speak Sanskrit, so the Sanskrit language is composed of an alphabet of 52 letters, okay? Now, whatever possibilities, whatever can happen in life, supposing we want to make an alphabet of it, so it is like a periodic table of chemistry. That 1 electron became hydrogen, 2 became helium, 12 became carbon. Similarly, I want to express one idea to you. I say I want to say good morning. So I want to express an idea of friendliness. Right? So what forms, what matter goes into the making of this friendliness? Right? So, but I don't want to express friendliness. I want to take a stick and hit you. So I want to express enmity. Right? So what matter goes into that? Okay? Or I have a different way in which I look at my son, my daughter. We call that a vatsalya. Right? So what matter goes into the making of that? So there's an alphabet. Like there's an alphabet of letters, there's an alphabet of emotions. You get what I'm now trying to say? All the emotions which are possible, all the ideas which are possible to humanity. These were called as matruka. Now that sound, that Omkar, is taking a shape. It is taking a shape where it wants to express a definite idea, a definite emotion. So it has to take what is taking a shape? That electron is forming different elements. You get? If it wants to express friendliness, it could be hydrogen. If it wants to express enmity, it could be oxygen. So that pashya, the first particle of the universe, according to our psychological structure, is taking different forms to express different ideas. These 64 forms, these 64 alphabets of sound, they were called as matrukas. All these Mataji's temples which we go to, they are all these matrukas, sound in the form of madhyama, that energy of sound. Whether we call it Gayatri Ma or Kali Ma or whatever Ma we call it, we go to the temple to pray. We have forgotten the science from where it came. I don't know if, am I able to express what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Now, those energies, those 64 energies, that alphabet of all the emotions and ideas which are available to humanity, they flow, yoga says they flow through the nadis, the nadi structure, and they come to the throat. They come to the throat. And at the throat, what is formed is Vaikhri sound. Now, Vaikhri is of two kinds. It is Dvani Matrak and it is Shabda Matrak. Dvani means it is just a sound. Shabda is, that sound is modulated to form a letter of the alphabet, so I can express a idea. So, I'll just explain this. Let me just finish this. Then I'll explain the whole sequence so we'll just get some idea of how it works. So now the sound comes near my vocal cords and it strikes the vocal cords, and there's a big science involved because all these letters are lying in the chakras. So as each letter comes to this thing, different chakras are rotating at different speeds, form with different energies, and this whole thing to visualize it is something fantastic. How this is happening. Now that letter, it comes over here and it strikes the vocal cord, and from the vocal cord, I won't take the Sanskrit because in Sanskrit we say a, e. It's a little long. I'll take English. We will see 5 sounds come out of the vocal cords: A, E, I, O, U. Right? Now, that is Dwani, the sound. It has not yet become the letter. It has not yet become the letter. Now, from the vocal cords, this Vaikri Dwani, but I want to say P. So it comes here, it comes to my lips, and at the lips, I stop that I stop it, and it becomes P. You get it? It becomes P. There is nothing like P. There is nothing like, it is just that sound stopped at a certain space. Or I may stop it up there on the palate. So it will become Ka. I stop it up there. And then I express an idea. That idea, it started with the Omkar and it followed this whole journey. You're understanding what I'm trying to say? Now let me put it in sequence. Supposing I want to say, hello, how are you? So I want to express an idea of friendship. So that idea of friendship, it comes from that before I express it, I may be meeting her on the road, but before I meet her, that Omkar in the Shabda Brahman, that universe of sound of Omkar where each Omkar is overlapping on the other, it knows that I want to express this idea. So from that unmanifest, it becomes the electron, Pashya. Those electrons take different shapes, friendliness, but in that friendliness, there's a little tinge of jealousy also, because she's got a better car than I have, right? Okay. So it is not just pure friendliness, it's a molecule, right? It is not just an atoms, so something else mixes up, and all that mixes up to form a different energy in my nadis. They flow through my nadis, they come to my throat, hit the throat, and from here I modulate that sound. I say, how are you? And that sound, the minute I say it, it goes back from Vaikri, the physical, it goes back to the astral Madhyama. From astral, the Madhyama, it goes back to Pashyanti, and it goes back to that Omkar. For some time, that Omkar gave me a loan of sound to express my idea to her. I expressed it to her, and I gave the loan back to that. I don't know if I've been able to express. So this is Om, the science of sound. It's much deeper than because when we go into the real nitty-gritties of this, the real depth of this, we have to involve all the chakras and how these energies are modulated. What are these 64 Matajis which we pray to as mothers? What kind of energies? Some will be energies to hypnotize. Some will be energies which will take the energy up. Some which will take the energy down. Some will give material benefit. Some will give healing benefit. It's a whole universe of energies over there. And all these 64, they were called as the temple of 64 yoginis in India. Only one is remaining now in Orissa, and that is also not in a very good condition. If at any time you can get to see it, it is really worth seeing. Now, this Omkar, it is the primal sound through which the 3 universes were built: Bhu, Bhuva, Swaha, the physical, the molecular, the electronic. And this sound is composed of 5 parts. It is composed of 5 parts. Can anyone tell me which are the 5 parts? Which are the 5 parts of Om? A, U, Ma, half moon, Ardha Chandra, Bindu, dot. A, U, Ma, half moon, dot. Right? These are the 5 parts of Omkar. So I'll explain the 5 parts today, and I'll also do the practical. We'll do it together also. Now it is a complete journey. When I say a complete journey, means if you are doing Omkar, there is no need for doing anything else. But please do the exercises. Please do the exercises. That's my ticket for teaching you these. That's my ticket. I'm charging you for teaching you the Omkar, that you will do the exercises and the sounds every day and then go to Omkar. I'll tell you why. Because the exercises bring about a purity of mind. They bring about a purity of heart. And if I'm saying this sound Om, it is so powerful. Om, Om. And then I say that yesterday she gave me a bad word and I want to show her today. And I go Om. And then that thought, if it carries on Om, it can have damaging results. Either to her or to me. Remember, in the universe there are no straight lines. There is nothing like a straight line. The straight line geometry of Euclid is just a figment of the imagination. Right? So, whatever word I say, supposing I give her a bad word, it goes out from here, but it doesn't follow a straight line. It always follows a curved path. So it may go out 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, it will come back. It has to come back to me, and then I'll say, oh, I got cancer, and what did I do to get this cancer? But you get it? So in this universe, everything has a curved path. That is why I say, do the exercises before doing the Omkar. It will bring about some purity of heart. Okay. Yes?
Possible to open a window here? It's really stuffy.
You want to open a window? I don't know who's in charge. He's in charge over here. So.
People getting it?
Huh?
People getting it?
I hope you're understanding what I'm saying.
Yes.
It's very difficult, but it's quite high tech,
Okay, we come to the practice. You should have told me to stop.
No. It's a learning process, but it's quite high tech what you say,
Philosophy.
Learning process. Anyway, I'm thankful that you're here to hear. Listen to me.
It's honor to have you.
Okay. Now, like I said, this Omkar is a complete journey. The energy is down. What we call as the energy of creativity, sex energy. And that energy, we want to take it up to the Bindu. So this is the complete journey. With each letter of the Omkar, we vibrate a different part of the body and try to take the energy up. And by the time we reach Bindu, we let the energy go right up to the top. It goes through the central brain cavity or the Brahmarandra and pierces the Bindu where the inner Shiva is, our God is, our Guru is. So this is the journey of Shakti to Shiva. Right? Now, like I said, it has 5 parts: Akar, Ukar, Makar, half moon, crescent, a dot, sorry. Akar is connected with the physical universe. Bhulok, it came out of Akar. We will pronounce Akar in 2 ways. One loudly and one silently, and wherever we feel the need in life, we will use Akar, because it is the physical universe has manifested out of that Akar. It can be used for whatever material benefit we want in life. But please understand, nothing comes free, but you can if you want, and people have used it. Now, in that, we have to vibrate the area much below the navel, the lower area, right? Now, because we can't say directly, is a hidden sound, we say plus that is ah. And we try to vibrate the lower part, where the energies are. Try to vibrate that part, okay? Put your hands below the navel, take a deep breath. And when you breathe in, the last part of your breath, take a little with the mouth. So it will go. And then say, vibrate this part with ah. Vibrate it. Don't look at me. Vibrate it. Things look very easy. In Zen, we have a saying, it is so clear and therefore hard to see. Right? And the way I'm teaching it to you all in 1 hour is not the way my guru taught it to me. I had to pay for it with my blood. What I'm teaching you now in 1 hour, I've paid for really paid for it. I really paid for it. That is why maybe I value it. So, it's been given to me piece by piece. Piece by piece. Only when I was ready for each part of it have I been given it. Okay, we'll do it again. Take a deep breath. Vibrate the lower part. Now we may come into situations where we cannot say the Omkar loudly. I can't go to our home and sit there on the sofa and say, ah. Tell me to get out fast. Right? So we want to still use the sound. We want to still modulate that sound and bring out the energies of that sound. So we'll do it in a very soft way where we hardly say anything. Don't do it now, 1 minute. Nobody, even the person sitting next to me, will not be able to hear what I said. Now the idea in this was that it was a form of acoustic visualization, in the sense that I had to keep on doing this till I was able to hear it like the one said loudly. You get what I'm trying to say? Like the one said loudly. Okay, now we'll take a deep breath. Don't say it loudly, but just try to vibrate it inside powerfully as that, and try to hear it as loudly. Vibrate the lower part, vibrate it, and take out all the breath. So, again, now take a deep breath. Now we'll say it loudly. Again, vibrate the lower part. Again, take a deep breath. Now try to say it silently, very softly, as if just we can hear it. Again, take a deep breath. Vibrate the lower part. Again, take a deep breath. Say it softly. But give that much vibration only. Please practice this at home. Please practice this. We have a subjective mind and we have an objective mind. Subjective mind is our mind. Objective mind is the mind of God. Our mind is a frozen mind. It's like water which is stale in a glass or something, or in a jug. The mind of God is like a river eternally flowing. So, if at any time you're asking for anything material, say you want a new car or something, whatever, and you're using this sound, visualize what you want. And in our Shastra, we have a word called tarpan. Just leave it to the universe, leave it to the flowing mind of God. Don't bother to give the details, because before we know, He knows. Right. So, for any material benefit, you can use this sound, Akar. Akar. Right? We practice it once or twice again. Try to vibrate keep the mouth open. when you're saying this. Okay, deep breath. Hands on the lower abdomen. Now, say it softly. One more time, take a deep breath. Visualize the mind of God and say whatever you want. Again, take a deep breath and say it softly. And just put that with your fingers, whatever you want, dissolve it into the flowing rivers of the mind of God. Okay. Now the second sound of Omkar is Oo. Oo is the molecular universe or the astral universe. The universe of relationships, the universe of beautiful energies, the universe of love. So Ookar is the most mystic sound in all these three. Ma. Ookar has so many overtones, and as we go deeper and deeper into Omkar, this Ookar comes out with all its beauty and different nuances and different overtones. Now Ookar is pronounced like the English word on, O-N, on. But we don't say N fully, we say N half. So instead of saying on, I just say O. I stop before the N. I just stop before, but I don't say O. I say O. O. Right? Okay. And in that, I have now lifted the energies from the lower part of the body up into the heart. See, this is a beautiful sound because our hearts are dry. Our hearts are dry. As you practice this sound, your hearts will be full of energy. And when the heart is full of energy, there's so much joy in life. There's so much joy in life. If you pass the exam, there is joy. If you fail in the exam, there is joy. It's because the heart is so overfilled with the juices of life. And this is the most beautiful thing which can happen in life, is to fill the heart. And then when you can pass it on to someone, just share it with someone. Nothing is more beautiful than that. So Ookar is the sound of the heart, and we vibrate the heart with the sound Oo. So I'll show it to you once. I'll take a deep breath, little with the mouth. Right? Okay.
Excuse me, is it a nasal sound or a throat sound?
It is nasal and throat both. But try to vibrate the heart. You're pulling the energies up into your heart. You're transforming the raw energies of sex into the energies of love. This is okay. This very sensitivity will change you completely. Just this one sound. Okay. Take a deep breath. Vibrate the heart. Again, take a deep breath. Vibrate the heart. Again, take a deep breath. Vibrate the heart. Little with the mouth. Now we'll say this silently, again loudly, silently, again loudly. This sound, try to master this sound. It is the most useful, it will become the most useful sound in our lives. Okay. So say it silently, because in many offices you may want to say it, but you can't. Right? Okay. Now take a deep breath. First we'll say it loudly, then silently. Now take a deep breath and silently, means very softly. Vibrate the heart, vibrate it. Again take a deep breath, loudly. Again take a deep breath, softly. Vibrate the heart. Again take a deep breath, loudly. Again take a deep breath, softly. Right. Again, practice this at home. Whenever you get time, you can be sitting in your office. Anywhere you can practice it. Sitting at the railway station, bus depot, whatever. Now, because this is the sound of relationships, and it is the sound of love, so anytime any person who is difficult, is not understanding, right? But just see that when you are trying to make somebody understand, are we full of aggressiveness? If we are aggressive about what we are saying, then that is not love. Love and aggressiveness cannot go together. In love, there is surrender. If he doesn't understand, it's okay. There's surrender. In aggressiveness is a symptom of the ego. The ego is aggressive. I know now all what you call management schools teach you to market aggressively, right? I don't know whether when one day if they'll teach to market with love, right? But aggressiveness. Aggressiveness in the Mahabharata is known as Bhishma. Aggressiveness. He was so aggressive about his promise, his pratigya. And that was the cause of this big war. If he had not taken that pratigya, that one pratigya, there would have been no war. That is, that one seed of aggressiveness led to the whole Mahabharata Yuddha. That one seed of it. So one small action done aggressively, it can lead to so many repercussions. Try to bring love into your actions. Try to bring love into your touch. Try to bring love in what you say. And the easiest way is vibrate the heart with this sound. So whenever you see somebody is difficult in front of you, vibrate your heart. You can't do it loudly, so you'll just... And try to vibrate his heart also. And he'll slowly calm down. Right? Okay. Now this is also the sound of healing. And there are so many healing techniques available in the market. But this is the original healing sound, and if you master this sound, there is no need to go for any other healing technique. This sound contains everything. So whenever, supposing you're just sitting at home and suddenly somebody phones you that this person has been put in the hospital, the minute you get the thought, don't go in what will happen, and this will happen, straight away vibrate your heart. And try to vibrate, visualize that person, vibrate his heart too. And the healing energies reach. And next day if you get a phone call that he's okay, don't say, I did this. Don't encash everything. These are the secret things which we keep to ourselves. We don't share them with anyone. Anyone means anyone. We just keep it to ourselves. Because the minute we say it, we lose the touch. The ego takes it up, it encashes it. And we are very good at encashing everything. So use this in your relationships. When you touch somebody, just an ordinary touch, it could be anybody, vibrate your heart. So something will flow with your touch to that person. You're not just touching him or her, you're giving something. And you're giving something which by giving increases. Right? It's not something which you're losing. Right? You're gaining by giving. Don't stand outside your door and every passerby. So use this. Our hearts, like I said, we get upset on the small things in life. Right? And in the small things in life, we keep on getting upset. Today it's raining, I get upset. And if I don't get a proper meal, I get upset. And if I've forgotten my umbrella, I get upset. So many things we get upset on. And if the heart is full, there's nothing in life to get upset about. Nothing in life to get upset about. So slowly, nothing will upset you. You'll be a different person altogether. Just with this one sound. Then slowly, as you practice this sound deeper and deeper, the energies of emotions sex will transform into love, and love will transform into prayer. Life will change completely. When I was very young, there used to be one magazine called the Illustrated Weekly when I was 16 years old, and Khushwant Singh was the editor in those days, and he had written an article on Mother Teresa. And Mother Teresa, the first 3 lines, that when I see a young child is suffering, I see Jesus is suffering. And when I see a young child is crying, I see Jesus is crying. And when I see a young child is sick, I see Jesus is sick. Right? But she's saying the truth. When we see our child, we see our child. And when we see his child, we see his child. Right? So our energy, emotional energy, it's like the share market, share bazaar, right? If our son passes the exam, then love for him increases. If our son fails in the exam, love for him also goes down. So our love goes with the share market, right? While she's saying that in everything she says, she sees Jesus, right? So her love has transformed into prayer, right? So practice this sound. Maybe, I'm sure it will happen in all of your lives, in all of our lives. Okay? So the first sound is Akar. The second sound is Ukar for the astral universe. Like I said, the astral universe is a universe of playful energies. Like an artist gets all his colors. Once you learn to play with these energies, you'll never be lonely in life. Every time you touch this sound, you'll be playing with different energies. And it will transport you to so many different places within yourself, not outside. You won't go from London to Paris or something. The third sound is Makar. Third sound is Makar. Makar is sound of the mental universe, the electronic universe. And we vibrate the throat with that sound. Again, we'll take a deep breath. Vibrate the throat. Again, take a deep breath. Again, take a deep breath. Now we'll say this, one loudly, one silently. Huh? Take a deep breath. Now silently, take a deep breath. Vibrate the whole body. Try to vibrate every part of the body. Again, take a deep breath. Loudly. Again, take a deep breath. Vibrate every part of the body. Again, take a deep breath. Again, take a deep breath. Vibrate every part of the body. Now this is the best sound to balance anything. Whenever you want to balance anything, somebody's car has come in between, you suddenly get upset, irritated, immediately say, balance. Somebody says something, you feel hurt inside, immediately balance it. Right? So wherever you need to balance anything, this is the best sound. Now, this sound is also used for manan. Manan means meditation, chintan. What we do is chinta. We don't do chintan. Chintan is something totally different. Right? So chintan means to meditate, use the thinking apparatus. And when you want to use the thinking apparatus, when you don't understand anything, again use this sound. Right? Okay. Now, this sound, Makar, is a sound of man. And U are sounds of animals. They come from the animal universe. This comes from man. Now when a lion roars, it can only say and U. It cannot say Ma. If it knew how to say the whole of Om, it would be like an atomic explosion. Right? So if you go to the zoo and you see a lion roaring, what is it doing? Its mouth is open. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, 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 oh. So it is saying and U. Oh, oh. Right? So when we say the words and U, we say it short and we try to bring in power like the lion is roaring. From down here, up here, and in Makar we bring it up to here. In Makar we bring it up to here. Who sent this? આ કોને મોકલ્યું? નહીં મોકલવાનું. જે ફ્લો આવતો હોય ને એ ફ્લો અટકી જાય આખો. આખો ફ્લો અટકી જાય. The akar comes from down, ukar here, makar here. So now try to bring the energies up with the roar of the lion, then close your mouth and balance them over here. I'll show it to you once. Do 4 seconds of akar, 4 seconds of ukar, and then close the lips and vibrate makar from the throat. Right? Take a deep breath. I'll do it first. when you're saying ah and oo, try to, in the first few days, look at the mirror. Try to look at the mirror and ah. So it'll go like the roar of a lion. Ah. Okay. Now just practice with me a little, as if we are in KG again. As if we are in KG. Ah. One, O-N, but reduce the N into half. Right? Okay. Now say it together. Okay. Now we'll go 4 seconds. 4 seconds. Don't count. Okay. Chalo, take a deep breath. Little with the mouth. Vibrate the throat. Now vibrate the whole body. Can you feel the power of what you're doing? This is so powerful. You'll be able to do anything. Cure any disease, anything you'll be able to do if you master this. I had a friend who had Addison's disease. Addison's disease is not curable by any medicine. He just went in a room for 1 year, he practiced this Omkar. And when he came out of that room, the disease was cured. This is so powerful, this is what I'm teaching you. You won't find it in any books or anything. I'm just giving you the knowledge which has come from my teacher directly. Just giving it to you, straight up. So please practice it. Don't laugh at it. Don't laugh at it. Please. Because you're not laughing at me. Right? Okay. Take a deep breath. Try to sense the energy rising up. You can feel it as if an ant is crawling up the backbone or something. Right? Okay, again take a deep breath. A little with the mouth. Again take a deep breath. Little with the mouth. Vibrate the whole body, each and every part of the body. Now what you can do is when you do the Merkar, you can start with the toes. And vibrate the whole body. So you're relaxing the whole body at the same time. Again take a deep breath. Now slowly increase the timing of Merkar. So Akar will be 1, 2, 3, 4, Ukar 1, 2, 3, 4. And slowly try to reach up to 45 seconds. Vibrate the whole body with this. Okay. Now the energy has come up to here. Till here it was animal. From here it became human. And from here it goes into the realm of God. Now we say that our God, the Atma or the Guru, he is sitting in one chakra called the Bindu. We did the exercise, right? And that Bindu is in the central brain cavity called the Brahmarandra. The Brahmarandra has 4 openings. One up through the mouth, one here, and one on the top. Now we want to pierce the Brahmarandra, the central brain cavity, with the sound. So the sound opens up the Bindu and there is a meeting of the soul with the spirit. This is called as yoga, communication, joining. There is this meeting of the soul and the spirit. That is why I said this is a complete journey. You start from the physical universe to the astral universe, through the mental universe, and you push up into the final source of everything. Right? So you want to take this sound up into the head. Initially we will vibrate the brain. I'll show it to you once. Take a deep breath. I'll do it once. Take it right up. Take it right up. Okay. Now we'll practice the 2 sounds. Now we practice the 2 sounds. Take it right up. Vibrate the brain. Again. Take it up. So I've taught you Akar, Ukar, Makar and Bindu. I'm teaching you Bindu just now. We'll complete the Bindu. What will remain is the half moon. Right? I'll teach that in the end. But we won't do that. We won't practice that. Now we'll do the whole Omkar. And we'll do just a little bit of Makar. And then we'll go into Bindu. Okay? Take a deep breath. Little with the mouth. Take it right up. Vibrate the brain. Everybody should go home with a headache.
I don't think so. Look at the
Okay. Again, take a deep breath. Little with the mouth. Vibrate the brain. Vibrate the brain. Sense the sound rising up. Okay. Again, take a deep breath. Little with the mouth. Take it right up. Okay. Now the passage with which it goes up. See, in yoga, there is one mudra which can only be practiced with the help of the teacher, and that is called as Khechari mudra. In Khechari mudra, the student is taught to cut his tongue, and the tongue is sent back, and in the hole behind the palate, it goes up into the central brain cavity. So what we are doing is, instead of the tongue, we are taking this sound up that passage and trying to pierce the central brain behind the palate. We are trying to take that sound up that passage and into the brain, right? Okay, so try to visualize, sense the sound pushing up into that passage and entering into the brain, sort of piercing into the brain. Okay, come on, take a deep breath. Little with the mouth. Push it right up. Again, because we won't be meeting again, so we practice a little more. Take a deep breath. Little with the mouth. Again, one more time. Take a deep breath. Now, the student, as he learns from his teacher, the teacher tells him that now you forget the lower part and remain here only. So then he is taught that to do this final sound, bindu, only in kumbhak. Only in kumbhak. I'll teach it to you. Don't do it. Don't do it, because I have to complete the Omkar. I'll teach it to you. Don't do it. Only do what I've taught you till now. Don't practice this. Pardon?
Does it harm you? Or?
No, because we are not ready for it. But because it remains, I want to complete the Omkar. What is the whole Omkar about? It's very simple. Now what happens, we produce this sound and it goes up. Now he's only interested in this sound then. So he has to hold that sound for a long period of time. And when I was with my teacher, we had to hold it for half an hour. Right? So, and that was only done when the teacher was with us. It is not something, or he told us, you go practice at home and come tomorrow, perfect, this will come. Right? Now, how is that done? When we play the harmonium, any of you play the harmonium?
Yeah.
Okay, so when there is no sound, music coming out of the harmonium, no notes coming out, then we press the thing to give it air. To give it air. So then again we press a key, again sound comes out. So the same principle works. That is called as dhaman. Dhaman, that which gives air, support. So this half moon is the support. Support for this sound, bindu. Right? So what happens? We go Now the air is out, so I don't have any more breath, right? So now I want to hold this empty space inside. I don't want to take more air. So I just take a little air. You get it? And you go on. And it's just taking that minute little of air which allows you to go on. And slowly that amount of air becomes less and less. It is just that enough of air to balance the bindu, to give the, right? Okay? So that is the whole Omkar. The half moon, just above. Don't practice that. There is no need of that just now. But practice the other 4 paths which I have taught you. Akar, Ukar, Makar, Bindu. Don't practice this half moon. Right?
What does this do, the last bit?
Huh?
What does it do? What is it good for?
No, that is why I said that you have to pierce the central brain cavity. The spirit is lying here in a small chakra called the Bindu. So the sound we wanted to, unless we can hold it for a long period of time, it's not going to pierce. Just by saying once, it's not going to go up there. We want to hold it, the pitch, for a very long period of time to pierce something so that the sound pierces through to our destination. Right? So that is why we hold it for a longer period of time. Okay. Yes.
Would you say that you're self-realized?
Pardon?
Are you self-realized?
That I cannot say. I can say this much, that the wall has cracked and there is light in the room. It's an ongoing process. Self-realization happens in a moment. It has to be lived throughout the life. It does not mean every moment you are self-realized. Again, the anger may come and hypnotize you. Then you remember that self-realization and separate from it. So it is an ongoing process. But in some moment you do realize that supreme truth. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Is the pronunciation supposed to be exactly correct? If it's not pronounced properly, then
Try to pronounce it properly.
what if you do make
There's no harm, but try to. What is difficult in that?
No, because we don't have the practice, we might have forgotten the pronunciation.
No, again we say a, m. I don't. This 3 letters. Huh? Bindu is again. You see, when you play the piano, I don't know about the piano. When you play the harmonium, there are 2 mas. Shuddha ma, Tivra ma. So Shuddha ma is Tivra ma is Both are ma. I don't know what to say in English. Huh? It's a high pitch, just pitch. Makar and a low makar. Right?
There's no word. No?
High pitch. That's it.
Rajan bhai, are you taking a journey through the spine?
Her journey is through the spine. See, there are 2 journeys. One is through the spine and one is through the blood system. Yoga goes through the spine. Tantra goes through the blood system. We go through the spine. This is the journey through the spine. Tantrics use the blood system. They don't use the spine. But that's a different journey.
Who was your teacher, man?
My teacher was a Parsi gentleman by the name of Mr. Tawaria. He left the body in 1994. I met him in 1998 and I spent 6 years with him.
Was in India, right?
He was in India, in Bombay, very near the stock exchange. I used to, in those days, the stock exchange used to run from 12 to 2. And I used to go to the stock exchange from 12 to 2, and at 2 o'clock I would go to his home. Yes.
So why is this energy going to the spine? While you sing this sound, do you then visualize energy from the bottom of the spine going to the top?
That is why I said that when you're doing akar, vibrate the lower part. So you're trying to bring the energy up. Now to go up, there is only one pipeline, the spine. Right? Only one pipeline. It needs a conduit, no, to go up. So the second part where it goes is the heart. Right? And then ma. Then from here you're trying to send it through the mouth up here. Right? So this is the whole pathway of energy. You're not Sure? Because I see you're a little
Because the spine
confused.
we visualize at the back of the body, whereas you telling us to go to the...
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It goes up to the spine. The organs which are vitalized are the heart, the throat, and the lower organs. They're vitalized.
Sorry, I just find that, the spelling of AUM, usually we say OM as OM, and that's where the problem is, when you say OM.
So I've broken it up for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Om
generally,
is-
when you say OM,
You cannot chant Om. If you say Om, it doesn't really mean anything. Because you don't know what you're saying. That is why I've given you the full science of what you're saying. I've broken it up and given you the full science. Right? When you write it, you can write it as Om. Yeah.
What is the amount of time you should give it in a day for it to make a difference?
Good question. Good question. See, it depends on how much time you have, first of all. Which is, I have all the time in the world. But it's how much, I would say at least you start with 9 Omkars. Try to spend some time doing Akar, Ukar, because we live in a material world. Yeah, and at the end of the month, we have to pay our bills. Right? Even I have to pay my bills. Right? So then, at the end of the month, I do need some money to pay the bills. I may be teaching everywhere free, but I don't get any money for it. So then, you say the Akar at least 9 times every day. So at least the material universe balances. We are not asking for anything. We are not asking for anything. But it should balance. We must have enough of time for ourselves. Not spend all our time running after this thing. Try to divide your life into 3 parts. Necessities, comforts, luxuries. Yeah? So then, necessities everybody needs. Comforts we need. Put a scratch on the luxuries. And spend that time on something else. Spend that time on something else. Then life is easy. But the minute we need a car to go from A place to B place, but I want this car, then it becomes a problem. It becomes a problem, right? So try to make life simple. It leaves you time to spend on this. And these are real rich things in life. The richness of life is in this. Right? So start with 9 Akars, 9 Ukars, 9 Makars and 9 Omkars. And then do 9 Tivramas. So it will be all 36. It won't take very long, but you'll have to give at least 5-10 minutes. At least 5 minutes a day you'll have to give. Slowly increase. Slowly increase to 10 minutes. Do 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening. See, as you start valuing it on your own only, you'll increase it. Suddenly you'll see the difference in your life. On your own you'll start increasing it. Suddenly you'll find things are balancing automatically. A lot of your problems have gone away. Everything is settling down. Then you'll start increasing it on yourself. Okay? Yeah.
Would it be a difference in doing this exercise while sitting or while standing?
No, you're talking about these 6 exercises?
No, this Omkar.
Omkar? Good question. See, can you sit here and see, we need an earthing. You know what is an earthing? All our computers, one wire goes in the earth. So if there's any spike in electricity, it goes into the earth. Similarly, in Omkar, we need an earthing. So this is the way we sit. This is the mudra. The finger is like this. Now, all our houses here, they are made of wood. So there's no earthing. So take a piece of stone from your garden and put your finger on the stone. You sit on the mat. The finger on the stone. So any undue energies produced will go into the stone. That balances everything. Okay? Right. Good question. Who asked this question? Okay, thank you. I forgot.
So I know what it is.
What time of day is the best? And also, if there is any difference, empty stomach or...
No, I can't hear what you're saying.
What time?
It was 2 questions. What time of day is the best time? Then
Morning.
Is there any different if we do after meal, after food, or...
Try to
has
do it
be
on an empty stomach. Try to do it on an empty. But you say you may be in any difficult situation.
What time of day? In the morning? Evening?
Morning is the best. But you can do it at any time. Anytime needed.
If it's not possible to do
Yeah.
it in the morning.
And anytime you are in doubt, do it. Anytime you are in difficulty, do it. Right? Yeah.
Additional disease, what is the exact definition?
What?
For additional disease.
Addison's disease. Adrenal glands stop producing adrenaline.
If somebody has short breaths, and if you do it, can you then take air and continue from there, or you start all over again? You know what I'm saying? People can't go as deep as you go.
No, it will come slowly.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you're doing a certain Omkar, if you reach a point and you've got enough breath, can you cut it and go from there?
Start from again. Start from again. Don't make shortcuts.
Okay, no, short. I'm saying if you're stuck with
don't.
breath.
See, I've been doing it for 20 years. Right? So, I mean, you can't just say that.
So if you have a problem sitting down and you're sitting on
You
the
can
chair,
sit here.
but then obviously where do you put the stone? And then you'll
On your lap.
On your lap, isn't it?
On your lap. See, if you all are doing any physical exercise where you lose perspiration, then there's no need to keep a stone. If you're doing a little workout every day, then there's no need to keep a stone. Right? Please do all the 6 exercises and the healing sounds. Huh? That's my payment for teaching you this. And the rhythmic breathing. Yeah.
Can you do it with your eyes open?
I would prefer you close your eyes and try to sense the energies which are rising. Try to feel the energies which are rising.
Is this explained in your cassette as well, the Omkar?
No. This was so protected, this Omkar, that even now within my Guru's disciples, many feel that I should not be giving it out so easily. So, just given it. Yeah.
You see, you do some physical exercise, you do some physical workout in the morning and you perspire, and you do the exercise in the evening. You don't need a stone?
You don't need the stone. If you little bit of perspiration in the day, even if you go for a brisk walk, then there's no need of the stone.
In a nutshell, perspiration is the letting out of your energy or down.
See, that is because you're practicing this Omkar. Otherwise, yoga, the whole of yoga is based on bringing your energies to the level of perspiration, but not allowing yourself to perspire. That is the whole secret of yogic exercise. Not to perspire, but to hold the body at that surface tension where you're just on the verge of perspiring. You see?
Did you study with Osho as well? You mentioned it sometime last time. Did you study with Osho as well?
Osho. Yeah. I started with Osho. I was 16 years old when I started with Osho. Spent many years, and then I spent 7 years with one other master, Swami Ramdulare Bapu. He left the body in 1982. Then 4 years I was with Vimla Thakur. She's still living. Even now I go to meet her. Then I met my teacher. 8 years I was with him. 6 years I was with him. So it's been a long journey.
Thank you for giving us.
Somebody has a question there?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
If Ida and Pigla both are running together at the same time, continuously, what does that mean?
They don't run continuously. No, they don't. They don't. We feel they run continuously, right? But it's always one is running more than the other. One is running more. Now again, I'll explain something to you which is not a part of traditional yoga. But even though we say this is Pingla and this is Ida, both have Ida and Pingla in both. You get what I'm trying to say? So it is not just Ida and Pingla, because we read in the books as Ida and Pingla, but both contain two nadis, and those nadis intertwine like this round, and they come here to the perineum. Right? So don't worry about that. At any one time, only one is working. But when they are exchanging, at that point of exchange for some time to the balance, and everything is working together. Right? Otherwise, that is why it is not very, what do you call, good to practice too much of Shavasana. You do 5-10 minutes of Shavasana, and then you always turn on the right side. You never sleep on your back. Because at any time if Sushumna starts working, Ida Pingla stop working, and the middle nadi start, it will be like suddenly the electricity is flowing at 250 volts and it starts flowing at 20,000 volts. So there will be a big shock in the system.
Anyhow, it's not harmful at all.
It's not harmful, don't worry, because it balances out. But don't sleep on your back.
Thank you.
The sun sets. When the sun sets, the magnetism of the earth becomes negative. So when we sleep on the left side, so the right nostril works. So that electricity which we take in, we give it a positive charge, balancing it. When the sun is going to rise in the morning, the magnetism of the earth becomes positive. So in the morning, as we are going to wake up, we sleep on the right side so that we balance it with the left nostril.
You got a website or something like that?
I've got a website where all the exercises are, 3srb.org. You can download all the music and the exercises.
Not Omkar and all this.
Not
no.
Everybody's interested. No,
Website 3srb. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How long does you are here?
Pardon?
How many days you are here?
I'm here till the 11th. I was wondering.
Any more lectures are you going?
નહીં સાહેબને પૂછવું પડશે મારે.
આ જગ્યાએ નથી પાછો.
આ જગ્યાએ નથી ને એટલે I was wondering if we can arrange a lecture if you're interested on death. What is death and dying? But I'm leaving on Thursday. That is the problem. આપણે બીજા દિવસે આનો. Take a piece of cotton, open it up like this, and flatten it like that. Make it round, and don't twist it. Put it in the right nostril directly. The air should stop. The flow of breath should stop. So the left starts. Do this at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and take it out at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Take it out at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, if the cotton gets wet, it will shrink in size. So take it out and put a new piece inside. Do this for 1 year. 1 year every day. You'll see a dramatic change in so many things within ourselves. Anger will vanish. Irritation will vanish. Headaches will go away. BP will start coming down. Migraines will go away. Period problems will go away. You won't feel heated all the time. So a lot of things. Acidity will go away. So for 1 year, block the right nostril 1 to 4 in the afternoon. But remember to take it out at 4 o'clock.
Why does it have to be at a particular time?
Not the left, right. Right.
What's the reason?
No, don't change it.
How does the theory work?
Do it
Why right and not left?
3 hours.
1 to 4.
4 hours, 3 hours with the right.
3 hours. 1 to 4. 3 hours.
How does it work?
Yeah, I was sorry. Why only right?
Why right? Why not left?
Yeah. I know you all won't do without knowing why you're doing that. Poor old disciple me, I never asked, I just did.
Buddhijeevi.
Yeah, I'll explain. Now, the earth takes in prana from the sun and rotates that within its laboratory in the core of the earth and releases it into the atmosphere. Every day between 1 and 4, the prana which is released is very highly charged, and when we take it through the right nostril, it creates irritation, anger, all these problems within us. So we block the right nostril from 1 to 4 and we take it in through the left. Okay? Right.
Somebody was asking about what was Makan Pataso thing.
Makan Patasa. Achha. Okay. Now for digestion problems, people who have constipation, acidity, one small experiment, take a white patasa, right? And put some homemade white butter on it, 1 teaspoon full. And when you get up in the morning, don't gargle. Put it on your tongue. Don't chew it. Let all the spit of the night and everything gather in your mouth. Let it dissolve slowly. Once it dissolves, then take it down slowly. Do this every day. If somebody has a constipation problem, acidity problem, anything to do with colitis, ulcers, do it again when you go to bed at night.
What is it?
Within 6 months, the whole lining of your stomach and intestines will be new. Patasa. VB. I've not seen it. Come in front and shout. Yeah. Repeat it. Yeah. Now the shop where you get it is called VB. So you buy it from there.
Also homemade butter.
Homemade butter, not homemade butter. You have to make at home. Not ghee. Not ghee. Makhan, homemade butter. You all come from the land of Krishna.
Well, any recipe chair, what you do is get clotted cream from any supermarket, not a massive tub, just a small tub, and take 5 spoons of homemade yogurt. Mix it together. You must leave the cream and let it be at the room temperature. But you mix karo, leave it for 2 days, so you'll see athwa, which is fermenting a little bit. Keep it in a warm place, and then you do is put it in a liquidizer. So you liquidizer, all the watery bit will come down. The chas niche rahe jaise na makhan upar aase. Clotted cream. Yeah. And if you think the liquid nothing nikadu, to take a sieve, and if you do that, all the liquid will come out, and you'll just be left with the makhan. Then you can store it for 3 weeks. But after the 3 weeks, it goes off. So you can do a little bit and keep doing it fresh. Be worth it.
You know when you do a double cream
With
and
the double
buzz
cream,
it.
yeah.
What's the
Double cream without the cream.
Same?
Yeah. It's so easy to make it.
Yeah, I've done it this way. And
With the double cream.
With double cream. I've
Double
not
cream,
tried
yeah.
it.
Clotted cream.
I'll just repeat it. You take a patasa, And put this homemade butter, 1 teaspoonful on top of the patasa, and put it on your tongue the first thing in the morning. Don't gargle, because that saliva of the night is very precious and we gargle it away, right? And let it, don't chew it. So just hold it there, do the rhythmic breathing or whatever you want to do, right? And let it dissolve on its own, and then slowly take it down, right?
Diabetes होने पतासा खवाई
नहीं खवाए, diabetes होए नहीं. But I'll tell you, if your diabetes is in control with 1 patasa, it is worth it. It is worth it.
What about normal person?
Normal person can do it.
Normal butter.
No, with normal butter. I know one person who had gone to China, and he had gone for his company's work. I'm talking about 17, 18 years ago. And he was living here in England. He'd gone for his company's work to China, and there for 3 months he was roaming in all of the villages of China. And in China, the alcohol there is 90 proof. The alcohol you drink over here is 46 proof, right? It's 90 proof. And when he came back to England, he had formed what you call ulcers throughout his intestines. And the doctor said you'll have to cut 12 feet of the intestines. So he phoned me. At that time I was in Bombay with my teacher, and I asked my teacher what to do. He said, tell him not to do the operation. So I sent patasa from India, and he told him every hour, 1 on the tongue. Before the patasas came, he was finishing 2 big bottles of Digene every day. That bad it was for him. Today he is drinking again. No operation, right? So that much power is there in this patasa and butter. I can tell you numerous cases of ulcer, which are with no operation are just living on patasa and butter. Only the secret is don't chew it. Don't be in a hurry. Don't be in a hurry. Acidity, for acidity. Antacid. Do my 6 exercises. Do the exercises and take calcium. I think the body needs 1100 international units of calcium every day. So if you are frightened of the allopathic calcium, there is homeopathic calcium. There's also what you call shellfish calcium. There's so many other organic calciums which you can take.
Do you go to a place in India where you do this, or some place if you want to visit yours there?
Yeah. See, we meet in different cities. There are different centers where they meet once a month. I'm building a new ashram on the banks of the Narmada. And it's in a place called Jankeshwar, which is 60 kilometers from Baroda. So it's right on the river, and I'm building a small ashram kind of institute there, where people can stay and we can have camps and do
It's not done yet, fully yet, no?
Well, we still are holding camps there, and about 200 people can stay there at present also.
On your website, the details are given?
No.
Are you doing talks all over Bombay and other Pune, where other cities?
Well, this year actually I've taken a holiday. I've only come to England. But hopefully from next June I'll start again. In the eyes? In the eyes, yeah. Rather than put the morning saliva, if you wake up in the night to go to the bathroom or something, that is the time to put saliva in the eyes.
What does it do?
Do it for one day in a week or something. Don't do it every day. Just to clear the eyes, clean the eyes. Better than eyebrows. Do it once or twice in a week. Don't do it every day.
How do you
You get up to go in the bathroom, so apply it in the eyes.
What else?
Okay. Don't do it every day.
Homeopathic acid is equivalent as
Allopathic.
Yeah, you have to take a little more.
Is it much better?
No.
See, if you take this calcium, you have to drink enough water to flush out the excess calcium. That is all.
Oh,
What about breathing therapy?
That's not my subject. And I don't do it, so I don't know. Only place where I have found a benefit in, because many people do it, but I have not yet seen the benefits. Even people who are doing it, I've seen that their nails and their skin gets discolored. And,
what is it? What is
so I've seen that people, they, color of their nails, the color of the skin becomes parched. So I'm not in favor of that. Only place where I am in favor of it is that if you keep it for a week, and if a person is suffering from cancer somewhere, say lung cancer, then the massage of that, I have seen that it alleviates the pain much better than anything else. That is the only place where I've seen it very beneficial.
Is there any remedy for people having the blockages in the arteries?
All my exercises, do the sounds also, the last sound.
And then how about blood pressure?
All the exercises. This exercise is for blood pressure. But don't leave your allopathic medicine without asking your doctor. These exercises are not a substitute for your allopathic medicine. That you have to ask your doctor.
What was this for cancer you mentioned?
I said if there are, you see, cancer in its last stages brings a lot of pain in certain areas of the world. The only place where I've seen, I'm not in favor of urine therapy, but only place where I've seen urine therapy is very effective is that if you keep it for a week, that patient's urine, and apply it where the cancer is paining very badly, there is 50% relief in the pain. That I have seen in many patients, and I advise them so. Okay.